Reset your consciousness, 20-minute deep I am practice with Goldsmith's words. We are gathered not to learn a new method, nor to acquire a new belief, but to remember what is already so. You are not here to become spiritual. You are spirit. You are not on a path toward God. You are in God, and God is in you. And more than that, God is you. The error has been in imagining ourselves as apart, as separate identities, striving to reach some divine destination, when all along the I that speaks within you has never left the kingdom of heaven. You are not a person reaching for the divine. You are that divinity, temporarily dreaming you are a person. You see, from the beginning, the mistake was in believing ourselves to be something less. Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. And so it was done, not after the likeness of dust, but after the likeness of I am. And what God hath made, nothing can unmake. You have never been material. You have never been mortal. You have never been born of flesh, but of spirit. It is written, that which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the spirit is spirit. And so the great invitation is not to improve the flesh, not to heal the mortal, but to awaken from the illusion of it. You are not trying to become divine. You are awakening to the fact that you are divine. What is this reset that we speak of today? It is not a reset of your outer affairs. It is not a new technique to calm your nerves or make your days more pleasant. No, my friends, it is far more radical than that. It is a reset of identity. It is the restoration of the one truth. I am that I am. I am not this name. I am not this role. I am not this story. I am not even this body. I am the invisible presence which formed this body in the womb. I am the Word which was in the beginning, and that Word was God, and that Word was with God, and that Word was I. The only sin, if there is such a thing, is separation. The only healing is reunion, not of two things becoming one, but of one thing, realizing it was never two. When the Father said, Son, all that I have is thine, he did not speak as a being outside of you. That voice comes from within, and it calls not to a second self, but to the self that has always been one with the Father. I and the Father are one. Can two walk together unless they be agreed? No. And the agreement is this, that there is no other beside me. And so I say to you now, rest, not as a human trying to reach stillness, but as the stillness itself. You do not try to be calm. You are calmness. You do not strive for peace. You are the peace that passeth understanding. This is not an attitude. It is not a behavior. It is your nature. It is the I that was before Abraham, the I that created the heavens and the earth and saw that it was good, the I that walks with Adam in the garden, the I that appears as Moses in the burning bush and says, Take off thy shoes, for the ground on which you stand is holy. The ground is always holy, but it is your recognition that makes it so. And now we take off the shoes of personality. We remove the coverings of identity and effort. We lay down our burdens at the altar, not to be carried by a higher power, but to be dissolved in the knowing that there is no burden where God is, and where is God if not here? If not now, be still and know that I am God. This is the reset, not to gain, but to recognize, not to seek, but to see, not to become, but to be. All of Scripture speaks of this one I. The prophets heard it, the Christ embodied it, and you are now called to awaken to it, not by striving, not by doing, but by ceasing. Cease ye from man whose breath is in his nostrils, says the prophet. Cease from identifying with that breath. That body, that history, it is not yours. It never was. There is no Joel and no you, only I, the eternal, indivisible, infinite I. And when you know this I aright, you will see there is nothing left to fix, nothing to achieve, only this, I am. This is the beginning of your realization, not a practice, a birth, a rebirth into your true self, that which was and is and shall forever be. Let us now turn inward, not to the breath as a physical act, but to that which breathes. We are not concerned with breathing exercises. We are not watching the inhale or the exhale. We are not adjusting or regulating. No, we are acknowledging. We are knowing. And what do we know? That I am the breath of life. You do not breathe of your own will. The body does not know how to breathe. The lungs do not instruct themselves. The breath is not yours, it is mine. The Spirit of God hath made me, and the breath of the Almighty hath given me life. That is the truth. The breath is not a function of your effort, it is the evidence of the living God that is your being. As you sit here now, aware of the quiet rising and falling of breath, realize this is not the body breathing. This is God expressing. This is the I, infinite life, appearing as breath, sustaining itself without your effort. The moment you interfere, you are back in the personal sense of self. But in the moment you recognize, I am the breath, the doing ceases, and the being takes its place. And what is this I? It is the same I that moved upon the face of the waters, the same I that walked with Enoch, that spoke to Elijah in the still, small voice. It is the same I that raised up Lazarus, not by effort, but by presence. Lazarus, come forth. And the body responded to the voice of being. The body had no power to resist life, because there is no second self in the presence of I. So now, as the breath flows, do not breathe, it is being breathed. Do not think about it, let it go. Let the breath reveal to you the invisible motion of God through your form. Say within yourself, not as words, but as awareness, I am the breath of life. I am the rhythm. I am the law. I am that I am. Can you see now how this is not a practice to fix the mind or heal the body, but a revelation of what already is? You are not meditating to get peace. You are meditating to become aware that you are peace. You are not breathing to still the mind. You are breathing to realize that the mind is not you, the breath is not you, the body is not you. I is you. I is breathing. I is present. I is silent. The great error is the belief that you are doing anything. Of mine own self I can do nothing, said the Master, and that is your truth too. It is only in surrendering the doer that you become aware of the being. Let go of the idea that you must become still. Stillness is already present. Only the mind moves. Let it move. It is not your movement. You are still. In this realization, the breath becomes gentle, not by force, but because thought no longer agitates it. When thought ceases, the breath slows, and when the breath slows, the truth rises. I am closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. This is not poetry, it is the fact of your being. So rest now, not in a posture, but in awareness. Let the breath remind you, I am, I am. not as a mantra, but as a presence, as the reality that never began and cannot end. We are not resetting the breath. We are returning to the one who breathes all, and that one is I. There comes a moment in every soul's journey where all outer knowledge, all theology, all philosophy must fall away, and what remains is a single utterance that cannot be improved upon, that cannot be surpassed, that cannot be questioned. That utterance is, I am that I am. This is not a statement of identity. It is not a label. It is not a phrase. It is the name of God. It is the name of yourself. When Moses stood before the burning bush and asked, "Who shall I say sent me?" the voice replied, I am that I am. Tell them I am hath sent you. Do you see? It was not a distant power speaking. It was the voice within Moses, the same voice that speaks within you now, if you will be still enough to hear it. I am that I am. Not I am this or I am that. Not I am sick, I am poor, I am strong, I am weak. All of these are additions to I am, and they veil the truth. When you say, I am tired, you have placed the mask of tiredness over the face of God. When you say, I am anxious, you have taken the holy name and bound it to a lie. There is no such I. The I that I am is not sick, is not anxious, is not mortal. The I that I am is life itself. Let us then begin this declaration not with words, but with realization. Be still. Do not reach outward. Turn within and let the I rise from the depth of your being, not from the head, not from thought, but from that inner chamber where only silence dwells. The I that arises from the head is personal. The I that arises from the chest is divine. And say now, not with lips, but with being, I am that I am. I am not a person. I am not a name. I am not a body. I am the presence that appears as these, but am not limited to them. I am. And beside me there is no other. This I is the self of every man, every woman, every creature, every tree and star and sea. There are not many selves, only one. When I look at you, I see not another, but the same I looking back at me. I in thee, and thou in me, that they may be made perfect in one. Not many souls, but one soul, appearing as many. Let this be your inner declaration. I am that I am. This is the reset of consciousness, not to improve the outer man, but to dissolve him in the light of truth. You are not here to repair the mortal mind. You are here to transcend it. The moment you declare, I am, you step out of time, out of form, out of history. You enter the eternal now, where God is all and in all. Do you understand why the Master said, before Abraham was, I am? Because the I is not bound by birth. It does not come and it does not go. It simply is. And when you live from that I, you live as the resurrection and the life. You live as that which cannot die. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. That I is not Jesus the man. It is the I that spoke through him, and it is the I that now speaks through you. You do not need to think this truth. You only need to be it. You do not need to affirm it over and over. You need only to know it once, deeply, and rest in that knowing. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Not the repetition of words, not the memorization of doctrine, but the knowing of the truth of I. And what does that I do? It does nothing. It is It governs, sustains, upholds without effort. It walks before you and makes the crooked places straight. It goes with you into the fire and the flood and says, "Fear not, for I am with thee." And more than that, I am thee. This is not poetry, beloved. This is the final truth. This is the Word made flesh. This is the end of separation. When you say, "I am that I am," you do not declare a personal truth. You declare the eternal reality of God. Stand now in this awareness and let all else fall away. Do not ask for healing, for in I there is nothing to heal. Do not ask for supply, for in I all is given. Do not ask for peace, for I am peace. You do not receive from I, you are I. This is the Holy of Holies. This is the inner sanctuary. This is where the veil is rent and you stand face to face with yourself. Not the self you believed yourself to be, but the self that is and ever shall be. I am that I am. Now that we have come into the awareness of I am, we must look gently but firmly upon all that stands in contrast to it. And what is that contrast? It is the belief in two. The belief that there is God and something else, that there is spirit and matter, that there is light and darkness, that there is good and evil. This belief in two is the foundation of all error, and it is the very thing that must be released if you are to live in the realization of I. You see, there are not two powers. There is not the power of truth and the opposing power of falsehood. There is not the power of health and the power of disease. These appear to be so until you see clearly that in God there is no opposite. God is light, and in him is no darkness at all. Not a little darkness, not sometimes, none at all. And so when we perceive darkness, when we perceive limitation, pain, lack, confusion, we are not seeing truth. We are seeing illusion. Not illusion that must be destroyed, but illusion that must be seen through. And how do we see through it? By dropping the thought of two. As long as you believe there is you and God, you and truth, you and the problem, you are caught in the dream of duality. But in the moment you know that I and the Father are one, and that the Father is all, the dream dissolves. Let this then be your release. Let go of the world of two. Let go of good and evil. Let go of right and wrong, gain and loss, birth and death, not because these do not appear, but because they do not exist in truth. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Do not look at the form, look through it, look beyond it. See only I. There is no you and me. There is no me and God. There is only I beside me. There is no other. That was not a statement of doctrine. It was the declaration of spiritual fact. There is no other mind, no other life, no other being, no other law, no other presence, no other power. Do you see now why fear disappears in this realization? For what is there to fear if there is only one? What can oppose you if there is no second? If God be for us, who can be against us? But we must understand this is not God for me, the person. This is God as me, the I, which has no opposition. That which has no opposite cannot be resisted. Let us be still in this. Let us dwell in this knowing. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Why? Because there is no second shepherd, no second life, no second cause. Because I am is the source. the substance, and the supply of all that appears. It is not your business to improve the human scene. It is not your business to fight against error. It is your business to know the truth. And the truth is, there is only one. This one appears as infinite form, but it remains one. The leaf and the tree are not separate. The wave and the ocean are not separate. The breath and the life that breathes it are not separate. You are not separate. Let this be your rest. You are not a mortal striving to attain the divine. You are the divine appearing as mortal, forgetting itself. But now you remember. And in this remembering, the veil lifts. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. The glass of duality is shattered, and the face of the one is all that remains. Do not try to hold on to form. Do not cling to people, places, or things. Release them all, not to lose them, but to find the I in which all is contained. He that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. Let go of the personal life, and you will find the life that never ends. This is the great surrender, not of will, but of illusion, not of joy, but of false identity. And what remains after the release? Only I. Only what has always been, what shall always be. I am not one among many. I am the one, and so are you, for there is no other. And this is the truth that makes free. Now that we have come into the awareness that there is but one presence, one power, one being, there follows a sacred responsibility. And that responsibility is dominion. Not dominion in the worldly sense, not power over others, not the exercise of will or control, but divine dominion, God dominion over our own consciousness, our own mind, and our own body. In the beginning, it is written, and God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion. Dominion over what? Over all that is in heaven and in earth and beneath the earth. This is not given to a personal ego. It is given to the I, the image and likeness of God. And you, beloved, are not a person seeking dominion. You are the I in whom dominion is already established. But this dominion is not exercised outwardly. It is invisible. It is silent. It is not a command given to the world. It is a knowing held within. It is the quiet certainty that I in the midst of me is mighty, and therefore nothing can oppose that which I am. This is not because I have power. It is because I am the presence before which nothing unlike itself can stand. You do not rule the body by force. You do not command the mind with effort, but you assume the rightful seat of dominion, not as a person, but as the awareness of I. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. What mind? Not the thinking mind, not the reactive mind, the mind which knows, the mind which sees, the mind which is. Begin here. Know that no thought can enter your mind except by your consent. You are the porter at the door. You are the watchman on the wall. I stand at the gate of my consciousness and deny entrance to anything that defileth or maketh a lie. And what are these lies? Thoughts of fear, of judgment, of lack, of mortality. None of these originate in God, and therefore none of them are true. And if they are not true, they have no law, no presence, no effect, unless you give them one. In the same way, no sensation, no condition, no disturbance can touch your body except as accepted in thought. The body is not self-acting, The body is governed by consciousness. And when consciousness rests in the truth, the body reflects that rest. When consciousness abides in the I, the body becomes the temple of the living God. So let this be your dominion. Not that you control the body, but that you know the truth about the body. Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost which is in you? And who is that ghost? It is the I. It is the life that breathes you, that walks you, that speaks you. You do not govern the body as a mortal attempting to fix it. You govern it as the I, acknowledging, I am the law unto my organs. I am the rhythm of my breath. I am the life of every cell, every tissue, every function, not by effort, but by knowing. This dominion is not personal. It is not yours. It is God's. It is the dominion of the I that knows no limitation, no opposition, no conflict. When you rest in this knowing, you do not fear disease or decline or disorder, for you understand that there is no law in them, no source, no creator. Only that which is of God has being, and God is the only being. And so let us make no attempt to fix or change or overcome. Let us only assume our rightful identity. I am the bread of life. That is not a metaphor. It is truth. You are the very substance that nourishes the body. You are the light that governs the mind. You are the presence that dispels the shadows. You are not your thoughts. You are not your flesh. You are not your experiences. You are the I that is forever untouched by them. This is the dominion that Christ Jesus revealed, not by demonstration, but by realization. I do nothing of myself. The Father within me, he doeth the works. That same I within you is the Father. That same I is the law, the grace, the life, the truth, the way. Now, you may ask, must I repeat this truth day after day? Yes, until it becomes as natural as breathing. Until it no longer needs to be said because it is lived. Until every moment becomes the resting in I, the abiding in I, the knowing of I. Then the dominion becomes invisible, seamless, effortless. You will find that the body functions as it should. The mind quiets without resistance. Life flows harmoniously, not because you fixed anything, but because you withdrew your belief from the lie of two powers and returned to the knowing of one. I am that one. I do not need to struggle. I only need to know. This knowing is the Word. This Word is God, and this God is I. There is no more sacred office than that of the porter, the one who stands at the gate of consciousness and guards the temple, not with swords, not with shouting, but with quiet, unwavering watchfulness. And so I say to you now, stand watch at the door of thought. You see, you are not the thoughts that pass through the mind. They are not yours. They are not real. They are not from God. Thought, when not illumined by the Spirit, is but the echo of the world. It is the hypnotic suggestion of the universal belief in separation, in fear, in disease, in lack. It is not personal. It is not yours. It is impersonal error, and unless you stand watch, it enters as if it belongs to you. This is why Scripture says, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. What is the heart but the inner sanctuary of awareness? Guard it, not by force, but by recognition. Do not allow the thieves to enter the thoughts that claim fear, resentment, judgment, anxiety, desire. These do not arise from the I. They are the whisperings of the world mind, seeking entrance where no entrance belongs. Now, the mind may seem busy. The thoughts may arise and fall like waves. Let them, do not resist, but do not invite them in. Simply recognize, this is not of God. This is not of I. This has no power, and let it pass. I stand here not as Joel, not as a person, but as the light, and in this light no shadow can remain. I stand as the watcher, and I say, thou shalt not pass. Not as battle, but as peace. Not with resistance, but with the effortless radiance of knowing. This is the dominion we spoke of, not the dominion of willpower, not the discipline of the ego, but the effortless dominion of truth, where I know what is true, and in that knowing, the false disappears of its own weightlessness. It is written, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. But who is this adversary? It is the belief in two. It is the belief in a power apart from God. It is the belief in a mind separate from mind, and it can devour only those who forget their post at the gate. But you stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord. That is, stand in awareness and see how error dissolves before the light of presence. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. What is the secret place? It is the awareness of I. What is the shadow of the Almighty? It is the protection that comes from knowing there is no other. Now hear me, not with the ears, but with the heart. Nothing can enter your consciousness except by your invitation. No thought, no belief, no appearance has power of its own. It has no life. It has no law. It has no cause. All that is real has its origin in I. All that is unreal has no origin, and therefore no substance, no continuity, no reality. So I say again, stand, watch, be still, but alert. Let every thought be tested in silence. Is this of God? Is this the voice of the I? And if it is not, do not resist, do not fear, do not engage. Simply know it is nothing, and in that knowing, it dissolves. You are the light of the world. You are the temple of the living God. You are the I appearing as form. Do not let the noise of the world pollute your sanctuary. Do not let the suggestions of mortality enter the place where only immortality belongs. And this is not something you do once. This is the way of life, a continual awareness, a continual surrender, a continual standing. And the more you stand, the less effort is required. For the mind learns to be quiet. The thoughts lessen. The noise fades, and what remains is I, radiant, silent, free. And so I say to you now, not as an instruction, but as an invitation from the innermost self. Stand watch at the door of thought. Be still and know that I am God. Now we come to a most sacred moment in our meditation. The world has taught you that you are in the body, that your life is bound within skin and tissue, that your being is measured by heartbeats and breaths, and that your substance is material. But I tell you now, you are not in the body. The body is in you. You are not governed by the body. The body is governed by I. And so now, in this awareness, we travel within, not with imagination, not with analysis, but with realization. You are not traveling as a person through a body. You are the living I, beholding its own temple, recognizing itself in every cell, in every breath, in every rhythm. Begin by turning awareness gently inward, not toward any organ, not toward a part, but toward the presence, the invisible I that is the substance of all. And from this center of being, let the word arise. I am the law unto my body. I am the life of every organ and function. I am the breath of the lungs, the beat of the heart, the flow of blood. Now, without strain, without moving a muscle of thought, gently look within and recognize I am the strength of my bones. I am the fluidity of my joints. I am the intelligence of my nerves. I am the stillness of my mind. The body, beloved, is not a machine. It is not matter. It is form, a form that expresses the infinite I. And as that I, you are the cause, the substance, the order, and the harmony of your own being. Let the realization deepen. Go to your hands, not to move them, not to feel them, but to know them. I am the life of these hands. I am the movement. I am the stillness. I am the creative action that uses them. They do not act of themselves. They are the outer edge of the invisible I made visible. Now go to the breath. I am the breath, but I do not breathe. The body breathes because I am present. The lungs fill because I fill them. The breath rises and falls, not of its own, but by the silent rhythm of I. Do you see now why the Master said, take no thought for your body? Because the body is not a self. It is not separate. It is the outpicturing of I. When you return to the awareness of I, the body returns to harmony, not because it is fixed, but because it is realized. Now, go deeper. Go to your heart, not the physical heart, but the living activity behind it. I am the beat of the heart. I am the life that sustains it. I am the perfect order that governs its rhythm. The heart does not act alone. Nothing acts alone. All is governed by the presence that I am. And if there is disturbance, if there is pain, weakness, confusion, do not resist. Do not seek to correct it. Simply realize, I am not this condition. I am not this report. I am not this diagnosis. I am the light in which all shadows dissolve. The pain has no law, no substance, no power. It is a belief, an impersonal suggestion without cause. And in the presence of I, it must fall away. Go now to your skin. I am the substance of my skin. I am the renewal of it. I am the quiet force that sheds what is no longer needed and brings forth what is new. You are not aging. You are not decaying. You are being. And being is eternal. Let us not forget the mind. The thoughts may rise, they may pass, but you are not those thoughts. I am the mind that knows. I am the mind that is still. I am the mind of Christ in me. I do not think I am knowing. I do not analyze, I see. I do not remember I am the eternal now. And now, slowly, let this realization expand through every part of you, not as a scan, not as a technique, but as a gentle recognition. I am here. I am in every part. I am the whole, appearing as form. The ears do not hear, I hear through them. The eyes do not see, I see through them. The body does not live, I am the life, appearing as body. There is no separate existence. There is no personal form. There is only I appearing as that which the world calls you. Now, rest in this. Say nothing more. Let the silence speak. Let the presence fill the form. You are not trying to bring light into the body. You are realizing that the body is already light, as it is written, if thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. What is the single eye? It is the eye that sees no separation, the eye that knows only oneness, and that eye you are. Now we come to the heart of the matter, not the center of a practice, not the climax of a meditation, but the very silence in which all truth is heard. We are not reaching for God. We are not calling forth light. We are not rising to a higher place. We are simply coming into conscious union. Union not with something outside us, but with that which has always been within. And how is this union attained? Through stillness. Not through repetition, not through thought, not through effort, but through the complete relinquishment of selfhood as person, as thinker, as seeker, and in that quiet where thought has no purpose and the will has no task, the I reveals itself. Be still and know that I am God. This is not a poetic invitation. It is a spiritual command, and it requires nothing but your surrender. Surrender not to another, but to the truth that there is no other. There is only I. We sit now not to think of spiritual things, not to visualize, not to affirm, but to be still. Let everything be as it is. Let the world pass away. Let the concerns of the mind drop like leaves from a tree. Do not chase them. Do not judge them. Simply return to the awareness. I am. This is not the time to ask. This is not the time to direct. This is the time to know. And what do we know? That I am already in union with God, not because of any condition, not because of any virtue, but because I and the Father are one. There is no effort that can create this oneness. There is only the silence that reveals it. You are not waiting for an experience. You are not reaching for peace. You are not trying to get still. You are already the stillness itself. Before a thought arises, before breath is taken, before desire is formed, I am. This is where all demonstration ceases. This is where all need is dissolved. This is where even spiritual understanding is laid down. For here, you do not need to know truth. You become it, not in thought, but in being. Let the breath become subtle. Let the senses fade. Let the inner silence rise. Do not say anything now. Do not even say I am. Just rest in that which is before the word, in that which needs no name, in that which cannot be defined, in that which simply is. This is the holy of holies. This is where the veil is lifted, not by tearing, but by dissolving. This is where the doer ceases and the being remains. And you will notice something now, a deep peace, not brought on by sound, not sustained by word, a peace that was always present, but unnoticed. My peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth. And what is this peace? It is the knowing that nothing needs to be done. It is the knowing that I am. There is no longer any movement of thought. And if a thought arises, it is seen as passing wind, not belonging to you. You do not touch it. You do not resist it. You remain as stillness, as awareness, you see, all of this stillness, this presence, this peace is not something you have found. It is what you are. You did not come to it. You remembered it. You did not create it. You recognized it. And in this moment of recognition, you are in conscious union, not with God as something, but with God as yourself. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. And what is this staying? It is not thinking of God. It is abiding as God. Not the God of theology, not the God of images, but the God whose name is I am. Here, there is nothing to overcome, nothing to pray for, nothing to affirm. There is only this: I rest in the I that I am. I rest in the awareness that I and the infinite are one. I rest in the truth that nothing can be added to me and nothing can be taken away. And so now, let all else fall away. Let the silence stretch. Let it deepen. Let it swallow up all sense of self and world until only the one remains, the I. And now the word is no longer spoken. It is. Now we behold what has always been true but rarely seen. There is only one life. This is the realization that comes in stillness, not as a thought, not as a belief, but as the very substance of being. In the silence, we begin to see clearly. The I that I am is not confined to this form. It is not limited to this name or this face. It is the I that is the life of all. I am the life of the tree outside your window. I am the song within the bird. I am the invisible intelligence in the ant and the silent strength in the mountain. I am the breath of the infant and the wisdom in the aged. There is not one life in me and another in them. There is only one life, and that life is I. This is not a poetic idea. This is not a beautiful philosophy. This is reality. Until this truth is known, we live in illusion, believing in many lives, many minds, many selves, many wills. But the moment we awaken to I as the one, we see through the appearance of many, and we behold only the one appearing as many. The world will speak of others. It will point to enemies, strangers, races, nations. But none of these are real in spirit. Ye are all one in Christ Jesus. And what is Christ? The I of every being. Not the personality, not the outer form, but the indwelling presence that knows no separation. You may say, but what of evil people? What of those who harm, who hate, who destroy? And I say to you, they are not evil people. They are instruments through which the belief in separation is acting. The error is not personal. It is impersonal. The one self is never evil. The one self is never violent. The one self is never corrupt. That which appears so is the illusion of two, of good and evil, of God and man, of spirit and matter. And so we forgive, not because we are virtuous, but because we see through. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Why do they not know? Because they believe themselves to be something other than I. And so their actions arise from ignorance, not from identity. Now you see why judgment ceases in the light of truth. For where there is no other, whom shall we judge? Where there is only I, whom shall we condemn? Your neighbor is not separate. Your enemy is not separate. The one you fear, the one you resist, the one you admire, all are expressions of the same I that you are. This is why the commandment is, love thy neighbor as thyself. Not like yourself, as yourself. For in truth, he is yourself. There are not two, there is only one. and that one is I. And this is the end of conflict, not through diplomacy, not through tolerance, but through revelation. You do not need to strive for peace. Peace is the natural state of oneness. War exists only in duality. Where there is no other, there is nothing to oppose. You may look upon the leaf of a tree and say, "This is beautiful," but it is not apart from you. You are the life that pushes it forth each spring. You are the law that governs its cycle. You are the intelligence in its veins. You are the I that appears as every form, every movement, every breath of nature. I am the vine, ye are the branches. Not separate branches, extensions of the one life. And so we commune not from one being to another, but from one to one. When you speak to another in this awareness, you are not addressing a person, you are addressing I to I. And there, love flows, forgiveness flows, supply flows, healing flows, because all is already one. This is why I say to you, let the sense of separation dissolve. Let it die not by force, but by light. See clearly that there are no others. There is only I. And so, wherever you walk, you do not meet strangers. You meet yourself. You meet the same life, the same presence, the same being, clothed in different garments, but the same in essence. Let this be your meditation. Let this be your prayer. Let this be your life. I am the self of all. I am the life of the animal, the pulse of the planet, the light in the child, the breath of the saint, the soul of the one the world has cast aside. I am the life that was never born and can never die. In this knowing, you will never be alone. In this knowing, you will never lack. In this knowing, you will never again look out upon a world of others. You will see only one, and that one you are. I in thee, and thou in me, that they may be made perfect in one. And so it is. When once you have realized that there is only one, that I am the self of all, then you must also come to see the spiritual law that governs all appearance and all experience. As I do unto another, I do unto myself. Not metaphorically, not symbolically. Literally, this is the law of self-reflection. You may believe that you can act in secret, that your thoughts, your judgments, your intentions are hidden. But I say to you, there is nothing hidden in the kingdom of I. For the I that you are is the I in every being, and there is no private corner of consciousness where truth does not live. The moment you act toward another, whether in thought, word, or deed, you are acting upon your own self, not upon a separate self, not upon a distant object, but upon your own being. This is why the Master taught, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these, my brethren, ye have done it unto me, because there is only I, there is only one life, one being, one identity, and what you give or withhold from any expression of that life, you have given or withheld from yourself. This is not karma in the common sense. This is not reward and punishment. This is the operation of divine principle. This is the law of oneness unfolding as cause and effect within your own being. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Why? Because there is no other soil into which you can sow. You sow into the field of I, and you reap from the field of I. Do you see now why giving cannot impoverish you? why forgiveness cannot weaken you, why love freely poured out does not leave you empty but overflowing, because you have given to yourself, because there is no other. And do you see now why the smallest act of dishonesty, the hidden resentment, the unspoken judgment has its echo, not as punishment, but as your own thought coming home, not as a penalty, but as a reflection. What you hold in your consciousness must be expressed in your experience, not because of fate, not because of external power, but because consciousness is the substance of form. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. And not only the mouth, but the life, the body, the condition, the relationship, the atmosphere. You cannot think separation and live in unity. You cannot sow fear and reap peace. You cannot hold your brother in contempt and abide in divine grace. For your brother is you, your sister is you, and all that you project outward returns not as punishment, but as revelation. This is not to frighten you, it is to free you. For once you see that all is self, you can no longer be a victim. You can no longer be controlled by circumstance. You can no longer be held hostage by what they do or say or believe. There is no they. There is only I. And so, if you would see peace in the world, bring peace to the temple of your consciousness. If you would know love, begin by knowing yourself as love. If you would live in abundance, recognize that you are not the recipient of supply, but the source appearing as form. Let there be no hidden corners in your mind. Let there be no secret judgments, no quiet criticisms, no harmless resentments. These are not passing shadows, they are your own reflection. And until they are dissolved in the light of love, they will appear again and again, not as punishment, but as the whisper of truth, calling you back to oneness. And if you have ever wronged another, knowingly or unknowingly, make peace within, not through guilt, not through shame, but through the humble recognition that you have done it to your own self, that you were not punishing another, but confusing your own sense of being. And in this recognition, forgiveness dawns not only for them, but for you. For there is no two, there is only one. This is why you are told, love thy neighbor as thyself, because that neighbor is thyself. You are not loving another, you are loving I. And love given to I is never lost, never wasted, never diminished. It is magnified, multiplied, eternal. This is the law that governs the kingdom of God. What I do to you, I do to me. What I withhold from you, I withhold from myself. What I forgive in you, I forgive in myself. What I recognize in you, I awaken in me. And so, let every moment be a moment of reflection, not self-reflection as the world knows it, but self-reflection in its highest truth. I am the vine, you are the branches. But the vine and the branches are one. There is no other, and there never has been. Now we come to the purpose of this meditation, not to improve the mind, not to restore the body, not even to uplift the emotions. The purpose is far greater and far simpler, to return to I alone. This is the reset, not of your day, not of your mood, not of your external life. The reset is of your identity. For every burden you have known, every fear you have felt, every conflict you have engaged in, arose from one simple forgetting, the forgetting of I. You believed yourself to be something, a name, a story, a body, a role. And in that belief, you left the kingdom of I and entered the world of many, the world of me and them, the world of past and future, success and failure, struggle and pursuit. But now the dream is ending, not by your doing, not by your will, but by the light of remembrance. I am not a person resetting a life. I am life itself resetting perception. And so we lay it all down, every role, every label, every name. I am not a man. I am not a woman. I am not young. I am not old. I am not black or white or rich or poor. I am not wounded. I am not healed. I am not evolving. I am not improving. I am I, and I was never anything else. Let this be spoken only in silence. I let go of the mask. I let go of the name. I return to the center from which all things arise and where nothing is born. This is not death. This is resurrection. This is not an ending. This is the eternal now. Before Abraham was, I am. Do you see? Before thought, before flesh, before religion, before effort, I am. That I am, I always have been, and now I remember. Do not seek to take anything with you into this place, not even a spiritual idea, not even a memory of peace. You cannot bring the truth to I. You must become it. You must be it. And to be it, you must be nothing else. This is the reset. The full erasure of separation. The release of all striving. The silence of the mind and the soul until only one awareness remains. I am. And in this I, there is no need. There is no desire. There is no conflict. There is no becoming. There is only this presence closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. You do not need to hold this state. You do not need to maintain it. It is not yours to keep. It is what you are. And because it is what you are, it cannot leave you. You may turn from it, but it will never turn from you. Lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. This I is the true self, not the personal self, not the ego self, not the evolving self. The I that existed before birth and will remain after the body is no more. It does not come and go. It does not appear and disappear. It is the changeless center of being. It is God, not as a distant deity, but as your own selfhood. And so we return not to another place, not to a higher dimension, but to the ground of I, the foundation of all being, the silent root beneath every form. This is why the great ones speak so little in their deepest moments, why the Christ was often silent, why the sages retreat to the inner sanctuary. For in this place, the word is no longer needed. The word has become flesh. The truth has become awareness. The I has become the only. Do not rise quickly from this. Do not rush into thought. Stay a moment longer, not holding, but abiding. Let everything fall away until there is no meditator, no meditation, only I. And now, from this holy place, you may go forth not as a person, but as presence, not as a doer, but as a beholder, not to change the world, but to see it rightly as the outpicturing of I. This is the reset. This is the beginning. This is the end. This is I alone. Now we enter the final silence, not a silence of sound, but a silence of self. The silence where the echo of I is no longer a thought, no longer a voice, but simply a being. The silence where the I that you are is no longer known, it is simply lived. You have not come here to find peace. You have not come here to find healing or wisdom or strength. You have come here to discover that you are peace. You are wisdom. You are strength. You are the very presence in which these qualities are not attained but expressed. And now we say nothing. Now we release even the sacred words. We do not speak I am. We do not say God. We do not repeat truth. We do not pray or affirm or listen. We simply are. This is the sacred silence, not the pause between thoughts, but the space in which no thought arises. And if thought comes, we do not follow. We do not push it away. We simply remain as we are I, without concept. This is the still point at the center of being. This is the peace that passeth understanding, not because it is mysterious, but because it cannot be understood by the mind. It is beyond mind. It is before mind. It is the unformed knowing that I am. Here, there are no prayers, for there is nothing to ask. Here, there are no needs, for all is fulfilled. Here, there are no others, for all is I. This silence is not empty. It is full of life, of light, of grace, of infinite awareness. And in this silence, the I becomes the only presence. There is no you observing it, no one experiencing it. There is only the I being itself. And now you may feel it not as feeling, but as being. A presence without beginning, without end. It does not move, yet all motion arises from it. It does not speak, yet all truth is its echo. It does not think, yet it is the mind behind all knowing. This is the silence from which all true words come. The silence in which every prophet has heard the voice. The silence in which Jesus said, I and the Father are one. The silence that Moses encountered at the bush that burned and was not consumed. The silence from which the word was spoken, let there be light. And now you know that silence is I. And you may never speak of it. You may never describe it. And yet it will go before you. It will be with you. It will shine through your words, through your touch, through your stillness, because it is you. You cannot carry this silence. It carries you. You cannot hold this peace. It holds you. You cannot walk with I. I walks as you. This is why you will never be alone again. This is why fear will no longer rule. This is why you will no longer seek, not because the search is over, but because the seeker is gone. Only I remain. Let this silence live in you. Let it breathe through you. Let it teach you without words, guide you without direction, uphold you without effort. Let this silence be the prayer that is never prayed, the answer that is always present, the truth that needs no explanation. This is the place where you live now. This is the center from which you go forth not into the world, but into awareness. And as you walk through form, through space, through appearance, remember, there is only I. The silence is not behind you. It is within you. It is you. And when the time comes to speak, let your words rise from this place. Let them carry this silence. Let them echo only this one truth. I am. And now, beloved, we rest. Not because something has been completed, not because we have reached a destination, but because we have come home to that which was always here. The I that neither begins nor ends, neither sleeps nor wakes, neither rises nor falls, the I that simply is. If you are entering rest, do not think of sleep as unconsciousness. Do not descend into the forgetting. Let sleep become a sacred passage into the awareness of I. Let the body lie down. Let the thoughts dissolve. But do not follow them. Remain as witness. Remain as light. I will lay me down in peace and sleep. For thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. You are not falling into sleep. You are being held in the arms of I. And even in your dreaming, the truth remains untouched. Even in your slumber, I does not sleep. If you are rising into your day, do not rush to resume the identity of yesterday. Let this moment of stillness extend into the next. Let it move into your steps, your actions, your words. Walk not as a person, but as presence. Let the world be touched not by you, but by the I that goes before you. I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight. This is not a promise. It is an assurance. Wherever you go, it is I who is going. Whatever you do, it is I who is doing. You are not the actor. You are the light in which the action unfolds. Whether waking or sleeping, working or resting, speaking or silent, there is no interruption to I. There is no moment when you are not divine, no moment when you are apart from God, no moment when you must begin again. The meditation has not ended. It has only dissolved into life. Carry nothing from this practice but the awareness. I am that I am. Let that be your pillow in rest, your compass in waking, your answer to every question, your breath, your being. And remember, you do not walk this path. You are the path. You do not hold the light. You are the light. You do not speak the truth. You are the truth. The infinite way is not a teaching. It is the I in you revealed. And so, whether you now rise in silence or drift into sleep, it is not you who continues, it is I, and I am ever with you. Amen.